Thank you for taking the time to watch our ELT training video. My name is Darren and I'll be conducting this session. First things first, let's go ahead and log in. The first thing you will see when you log in is this landing page with your ELT code. This is the only thing that changes in the process of adding a lien to a vehicle, whether that be at your county directly or through T21 when you finalize a deal. Just a reminder that these codes are for demo purposes and not your lien holder code. Yours will be on the landing page when you log in. If yours says something like it's pending, that just means the state hasn't approved your request yet, and you can reach out to your sales rep, who will reach out to the contracts team to find out where you are in that process. You'll notice on the left side that there are 4 tabs: Lien Processing, Account Billing, Reports, and My Settings. Lien Processing is the most important, so I'm going to go over that one last so I can cover all of it. So first, let's start with Account Billing. You'll see that the first 2 options are related to making a payment, and the bottom 2 have to do with the fees associated with your account. First, I'm going to go to Account Fees. This is where you can see all the fees you're charged when you use ELT. Looks like this particular Florida demo account is charged $4.50 when they add a lien to a vehicle, $2.50 when they change a title from electronic to paper, and they aren't charged anything else for any other actions. If you want to see what your fees are, simply log in and navigate to the account fees and select your business from the drop-down. Next, let's go to Account Billing Statement. This is where you can see all the charges made on your account. The default start date is a month back, but I always recommend going a couple years to January 1st just to pull up a complete billing statement. The end date defaults to today. As you can see, the topmost charge is the most recent, so therefore the topmost balance is the most current as well. If a balance is in parentheses, that just means your balance is in the negative, and if this happens, your account will be systematically deactivated overnight, and you won't be able to see your liens, and most importantly, you actually won't be able to make a payment either. All you need to do is call customer service team, and they will reactivate your account, which will then allow you to make a payment. When you're ready to make a payment, just navigate to either of the 2 options we have for you. I'm going to go over credit card payments first. It's like any other credit card payment. The fields in red are mandatory, and the fields in gray are for your records. E-check is basically the same, just fill out all the appropriate info and hit confirm payment. Once that's done, you will either get a confirmation that it went through successfully in green, or if there was a problem, it will let you know in red. If a payment goes through successfully, you will be prompted to print a receipt if you like. Let's move on to reports. There are 2 options here, user list and lien detail. User list is to show when the last time someone has logged into your account. Since ELT accounts are usually set up with only one user, you might want to utilize this feature if you give access to your account to an employee or a partner and you want to see when they're logging in. You can export this info into a PDF, Excel, or Word file if you so choose. Lien detail is an easy way to pull up all of your liens in an organized report. Again, we select our account, and for right now I'm going to leave the status as is just to pull up every single lien that has ever been associated with this Florida demo account. As you can see, it brings up a long list of liens. I can make the page have up to 40 liens per page on it, and I can sort by any of the criteria above. For example, if I wanted to sort by the most recent lien, I hit lien add date once. It's now sorting by the oldest lien, so if I hit it again, it will sort by the most recent. If I scroll all the way to the right, you can see that it has active, deleted, and printed liens. So if I wanted to sort by one of them, I just go back to the lien detail tab, set the status as active, and now as you can see, it only shows the active liens. Alright, now let's go over my settings. As an account admin, you will be able to add users yourself by going to the Add User tab. You will enter all the info it asks for. A good practice that dealers use for the username is just the first letter of their name and their last name. So John Doe's username could be J Doe. This isn't required. The username can be whatever you like, but this just keeps it easy. The email address must be valid, since when you save the user, it will send them an email prompting them to create their own password. The phone number can be your dealership's number or whatever you want the customer service reps to see if they need to reach out to a user. The most important part when you add a user is their security group. There are 3 options here. Accounting access will only be able to use the account billing tab. Lien clerk will only be able to use the lien processing tab. And account admin will have access to all tabs as well as be able to add users themselves. Once you have that all filled out and you've selected your business in this dropdown, just hit add and stay on same page, and they will be sent an email to set up their password. If they don't receive the email, double check that the email is typed in correctly, and they can hit forgot password on the main login page, and it will send them a reset link to that email. The last tab here is search and edit users. This is just an easy way to pull up all the users in your account. Just select your business from the dropdown and hit search users. Looks like this demo account only has this user attached to it, but if you had multiple, they would all show up here. You can navigate to their edit user page by clicking on their name, and you can change any of the information in here if you like. To save it, just hit Submit Information. Alright, now let's go over how to take an action on your lien. There are several ways to search for your liens. When you first log in, you'll have the option to use the quick search. If you click the box, it will list all the liens you have on your account, and you can also search for partial VINs, partial title numbers, and partial names. Let me grab my example VIN and take off the last digit and put it in quick search and see what comes up. I was looking for my lien for David Hunter, and as you can see, it came up. Another way to search for this feature, like I was saying, was partial names. So if I search for David, it'll bring up all the Davids. If I search for Hunter, it'll bring up all the Hunters. But if you notice, when I search for David Hunter, nothing comes up. So you want to make sure that you're searching for first or last name, but not both. Another way to find a lien is to go to Advanced Search by either clicking this button here or going to the tab directly. You can search for any of the criteria listed here. That doesn't necessarily mean you should search for all the criteria that you can provide, as that leaves more room for typos, which might give you some trouble finding your lien. The VIN number is usually the best way to find your lien. In Advanced Search, you are able to search for full VINs and full title numbers, and you notice that there's a spot to search by full name. Probably the best way to pull up all your liens is to just select your account and set the status to active, and it will bring up a list of all liens that you can take actions upon. Another good rule of thumb is the higher the lien ID, the more recent the lien. I'm going to pick Crystal's lien as an example for this training video. Once you've navigated to your lien, you will see all this useful info. If any of it seems to be wrong, like the VIN, or maybe Crystal doesn't reside on 123 Sesame Street anymore, you will need to file a title correction at your county, since this is the record the state has that's loaded onto the site, so it must be taken care of at that level. Once a title correction has been filed and processed, they will send us the updated record to load again. Once you're ready to take an action on your lien, scroll down to the Action section. As you can see, there are 4 actions you can take on a lien. The last 2 are for your record, so I'll touch on those later, but the 2 most important are satisfying a lien and changing your electronic title to paper. You can only take 1 action on a lien, so if you come in and satisfy the lien, you couldn't come in tomorrow and change the title to paper. Same goes with changing the title to paper. You couldn't come in the next day and satisfy the lien, since the state now recognizes it as being a paper title. Once an action has been taken, any further action must be done at your local county, since it's now out of electronic status. First, let's go over satisfying a lien. If you submit this request, it's telling the state to remove you as a lien holder, so you want to make sure that you're only doing this if your customer no longer owes you any money, since it will make them the legal owner of the title. There have been some cases where someone accidentally satisfied the lien when they just wanted a paper title, and the customer actually refused to bring the title in so they could correct it. So just always be sure that the customer no longer owes you any money when you satisfy a lien. The other option we have is changing the title to paper. A time you might want to do this is if you repoed the car and the county is requesting a paper title to do so. Same goes for the total loss of a car. The insurance company would most likely require a paper title to fund you for the loss, and this is what you would do. It results in a paper title with an active lien still on it, and you can send it either to you guys, or you can hit other and send it to whomever you like. Even though you can only take 1 action on a lien, you are able to do 2 actions in one by satisfying a lien and clicking this box to change it to paper and mail it out to your customer. If this box isn't checked, the title will stay electronic and they will need to go to their local county to request it to be printed. The only difference between Florida and Georgia in ELT is that Florida has the option to request an expedited title when you change it to paper. You might want to do this if you don't want to wait the 3 to 5 days it takes the state of Florida to process your request and mail the title out. If you submit an expedited request before 1:30 Eastern Time, you are able to go as a lien holder to your local county and pick the title up the next day. If it's after 1:30 Eastern Time, it will be the day after the next day. The last 2 options in the Actions drop-down are adding a comment and maintaining loan info. These are purely for your records. No notification is sent to us or the state. Adding a comment can be used, for example, if Crystal got a new phone number, you can keep track of that here. Under Maintain Loan Info, if you guys use loan numbers, you can keep track of those here. And I know some dealers actually keep track of how much the customer has paid them and what their remaining balance of the loan is on here as well. It just gets added down below as an electronic comment. That wraps it up for ELT. If you have any more questions, please reach out to our help desk and they will be more than happy to help you out. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.